Good evening. We are very glad to have you with us for this very special program. This program is special because with this evening's guest, we reach a plateau in our quest to find out who we have been and who we are. Our guest is one of the leading anthropologists and Egyptologists in the world, Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop. Dr. Diop was born in Senegal, and at age 23, he went to Paris, France, to continue advanced studies in physics. In 1966, the first World Black Festival of Arts and Culture, held in Dakar, Senegal, honored Dr. Diop and Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois as the scholars who exerted the greatest influence on black thought in the 20th century. Dr. Diop, who is also a linguist, is director of the Radiocarbon Laboratory at the Fundamental Institute of Black Africa at the University of Dakar in Senegal.
Donc, tous les biologistes savent ce que je dis en ce moment. Toutes ces analyses, les résultats de ces analyses sont concluants et tous ceux qui s'occupent justement de biologie humaine savent tout ce que je vous ai dit aujourd'hui sur ce point-là. Cette question-là aussi, au niveau de tous les scientifiques sereins, objectifs, est une question qui est acquise. Que les races ont les mêmes capacités intellectuelles. Mais il peut y avoir, l'une peut être momentanément dominée par l'autre, c'est tout. Dans l'Antiquité, les Noirs ont dominé les Blancs, comme nous allons le voir tout à l'heure. Par la suite, les Noirs, les Blancs ont pris le dessus, comme aujourd'hui.
All biologists and those scientists who are aware of this information know that there is no longer any question as to whether there is a superiority among the races. It is, however, possible that one race or another can dominate temporarily another race or other races. In antiquity, it was blacks who dominated, and that is perhaps not the case now.
You have spent much of your life studying the history of the ancient Egyptians. Who were the ancient Egyptians? How did they look?
Voilà, les Égyptiens anciens ressemblaient à cette terre que vous voyez. Voici le premier roi de la terre.
Here you have the first king of the earth, the very first. And the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians, looked like this man.
Cet homme a des traits, si vous voulez, plus, comme nous disons, vous m'aviez dit tout à l'heure de ne pas employer un terme, mais sur le plan scientifique, c'est un terme consacré. En tout cas, il a des traits de la race noire plus marqués que celles de presque tous ceux qui sont ici dans cette salle.
You can see that he has those traits that are associated with the black
feature.
Those features associated with the black race, which are even more pronounced than many of the people here. It was this man who unified the Nile Valley from Upper to Lower Egypt, and this was 3,300 years before Jesus Christ.
Yes. Je passe donc, ce que je vais dire avant de passer au suivant, c'est que vous allez le voir donc, déjà d'après ces traits, et les traits aussi des pharaons qui vont suivre.
You can see by his features and those of the pharaohs and kings that will follow it,
que les anciens Égyptiens n'étaient pas des blancs qui seraient devenus progressivement noirs et en perdant leurs traits.
You can see that they were not people that started as whites and became progressively more black.
Mais qu'au départ, c'était des noirs authentiques qui, à la basse époque, vont se métisser avec des blancs.
They were instead black people, and authentic black people, but which never ceased to be blacks.
Donc, attendez, je dis en un mot. Donc, vous voyez que les anciens Égyptiens étaient des noirs comme tous les autres naturels de l'Afrique, c'est tout.
You can see that the first the Egyptians were black men, like black men that you see in Africa now.
Ici, cette reproduction est importante.
This is a very important reproduction.
C'est dans le tombeau de Ramsès III,
This is found in the tomb of Ramses III,
20e dynastie.
the 20th dynasty.
Vous avez le personnage de gauche.
That person on the left,
C'est le type général, donc, représenté par l'artiste égyptien lui-même.
this is the general type represented by the Egyptian artist himself.
Le second, c'est le type général de tous des Européens, si vous voulez, de tous les Occidentaux.
And the second person or personage is the general type of all the Europeans
Yes.
represented by the artist.
Le troisième, c'est le type général de tous les autres Noirs de l'intérieur du continent.
And the third personage is the general type representing all the other groups found in the interior of the continent,
Of Africa.
of the continent of Africa.
Oui. Le quatrième, c'est le type général de tous les Sémites habitant l'Asie.
The fourth personage is the general type of all of the Semites living in that area of Asia.
Et ceci est un tableau ethnographique. Voilà les races qui existaient à l'époque, telles que les Égyptiens les ont connues, vues et représentées.
This is
De différentes races.
the different races represented by the artist, and these are the races that existed in his time as he saw them.
Nous sommes à 1200 avant Jésus-Christ.
We are 1,200 years before Jesus Christ.
Bien. Donc, vous voyez que les Égyptiens ne se sont jamais confondus avec les Européens.
So
ni,
the
oui,
Egyptians were never confused with the Europeans,
ni avec les Sémites,
nor with the Semites,
et qu'ils ne se sont jamais différenciés sur le plan de la couleur, n'est-ce pas, sur le plan ethnique des Africains.
and they never became different from on an ethnic plane from the other Africans.
Regardez, ces reproductions sont assez significatives à ce point de vue.
So this is fairly significant from this point of view.
Or, cette image, c'est la première fois, depuis que Lepsius, c'est un relevé d'un savant allemand qui s'appelle Lepsius.
This was discovered by a German scientist who is called Lepsius,
Et vous ne l'avez jamais vu reproduit dans un autre ouvrage avant cette projection.
and before this you have not seen this reproduced in any other form
Dans
or
un
work,
livre, dans
or
une
any other work.
Vous voyez donc, c'est de cette manière que la science, n'est-ce pas, s'est écartée petit à petit de la réalité et de la vérité historique en ce qui concerne l'Égypte.
And so you can see how history departed little by little from the reality.
How did ancient writers describe the ancient Egyptians?
Tous les écrivains grecs et même romains de l'Antiquité ont déposé dans le même sens pour nous affirmer que les anciens Égyptiens de leur époque, pourtant qui étaient déjà très métissés, étaient des Noirs.
All of the writers of ancient Greek and ancient Rome agreed
Yes,
that
que
the
les
Egyptians of their epoch, of their time, were in fact black.
Or, cette Égypte-là, c'est l'Égypte de la fin, donc de la fin donc, de l'histoire égyptienne.
But these were the Egyptians of the end of the great Egyptian civilization.
Et Jésus-Christ, ça fait donc une période de 900 ans.
For a period of some 900 years, beginning at the 4th century before Jesus Christ and going through the 5th century after, the Greeks were constantly witnessing to the fact that the Egyptians were black.
Donc, les Égyptiens sont considérés comme des Noirs depuis l'origine jusqu'à la fin de leur histoire.
So they would be considered black from their origins, from their beginnings, all the way to the end of their civilization, as is indicated by the first king, the slide which we saw.
Ouais. Alors, les autres, je vous les montre rapidement. Je passe rapidement là-dessus.
I will show you quickly the others.
Ici, vous avez Djoser, 3e dynastie,
You have-
2778 avant Jésus-Christ.
This is the third dynasty of the Egyptian civilization here.
Disons 2800.
2800 BC.
Avec Djoser, tous les éléments technologiques de la civilisation égyptienne étaient déjà en place. Tout ce que nous admirons en Égypte, sous ce pharaon noir, existait déjà.
Troisième dynastie?
Troisième dynastie, avant les pyramides donc. La seconde, ça va être celle des pyramides.
Okay.
Eh bien, avec Djoser, tous les éléments de la civilisation égyptienne étaient déjà en place.
With this king, in the third dynasty, all of the things that we admire the Egyptians for were already in place.
Nous verrons que c'est sous son règne que l'architecture en pierre de taille va être inaugurée, la grande architecture égyptienne.
The great Egyptian architecture was evolved under his reign.
2300 ans avant la naissance de l'architecture en Grèce. 2300 ans avant la naissance de l'architecture.
2,300 years before the birth of architecture in Greece.
Et aussi 2000 ans même avant la naissance, on peut dire qu'à cette époque-là, les Grecs n'existaient même pas encore dans l'histoire.
You can say, it can be said that at that point, the Greeks didn't even exist in history.
Yes. La mathématique, la
Mathematics,
médecine,
medicine,
tout était déjà présent sous ce pharaon.
everything was already in place during his reign.
Donc, la civilisation égyptienne dont nous parlons est née, n'est-ce pas, sous le règne de ces pharaons typiquement africains.
And so civilization, or Egyptian civilization as we know it, was born under the reign of these pharaohs.
Ici, vous avez le Sphinx.
This is the Sphinx.
Lors de la mission française qui accompagnait Napoléon, quand Napoléon est allé en Égypte, il était accompagné d'une mission de savants. Ce sont des Français qui sont comme ça sur le Sphinx, qui font des mesures.
These are Frenchmen who were part of on top of the Sphinx. They are measuring there on top of the Sphinx. They were part of a mission that accompanied Napoleon
Au 19e siècle.
in the 19th century.
Vous voyez que le profil du Sphinx à cette époque-là était encore plus typiquement africain que maintenant.
You see that the profile of the Sphinx at that time was more authentically African than it is now.
Depuis, l'érosion l'a détruit encore un petit peu. Vous savez, le vent de sable constamment qui frappe le visage.
The wind
l'a
and the sand
complètement
has
détruit.
eroded the Sphinx considerably.
Et vous savez que le nez du Sphinx est au British Museum.
The nose of the Sphinx is in the British Museum.
Et on aurait pu le récupérer pour revoir un peu quel était le visage. L'Égypte pourrait très bien essayer de le récupérer. Ça, c'est au moins la moindre des choses.
And the Egyptians are unable to have it back again to compare it with the Sphinx.
Mais peut-être que ces traits sont si typiquement africains que personne n'a envie de les reconstituer tels qu'ils étaient.
It's perhaps because the features are so typically African that no one wants to see that comparison be made.
When was the slide, this drawing rendered done?
Est-ce que vous pouvez nous dire la date de cette illustration?
2600 avant Jésus-Christ, c'est l'époque des pyramides. Ici, nous sommes sous la 4e dynastie. C'est le profil du pharaon Khéphren. C'est la 4e... Oui?
C'est pas le Sphinx qu'il veut savoir, c'est l'illustration à l'époque où Napoléon était là, n'est-ce pas?
Oui.
C'était quand?
C'est 1800, à la fin du 19e siècle, fin 19e siècle.
The end of the 19th century.
Je passe. Ici, vous avez donc ici Amenophis Ier, vous voyez qu'il est typiquement africain. Donc, vous voyez que les pharaons ne se peignent pas toujours le corps en ocre rouge. C'est une habitude africaine. Tous les peuples africains, depuis la haute préhistoire, ont l'habitude de se peindre le corps en ocre rouge.
This is Amenhotep I, and you can see that this is he with his natural skin color. He is not painted.
Vous voyez aussi que ses cheveux sont crépus.
And you can also see that his hair is kinky.
Disons, c'est cette dynastie qui va conquérir toute l'Asie occidentale.
it is this dynasty represented here that conquers all of the Western world.
Yeah. Toute l'Asie occidentale.
All of Western Asia.
Et aussi toutes les îles de la mer Égée.
And also all of the Aegean Sea.
C'est une époque d'impérialisme africain.
This is a period of African imperialism.
À cette époque, c'est l'Afrique noire qui avait l'initiative historique.
It's at that point that it is at this point that Africans had the imperial initiative.
Et dominer tous les autres peuples, soit de la mer Égée, donc de la Méditerranée orientale ou de l'Asie occidentale.
And they dominated all of the people from the Mediterranean all the way into the Far East.
Un pharaon de cette dynastie,
Pharaohs of this dynasty,
qui s'appelle Thutmose III,
who were called Thutmose III,
yeah, avait conquis 111 États.
Conquered
111 États au total.
111 states in all.
Il les avait conquis et qui étaient entrés il les a intégrés dans l'Empire égyptien.
And they made them part of the Egyptian Empire.
Ici, vous voyez Ramsès II et un Tutsi. La parenté est frappante aussi entre la coiffure du pharaon, la coiffure du Tutsi et le casque du pharaon.
Here you have Ramses II and a Tutsi warrior. It's remarkable the similarity between the Tutsi's hairdo and the helmet worn by the pharaoh.
Or, ce pharaon est encore un des plus prestigieux justement de toute l'histoire égyptienne.
He is certainly one of the most prestigious of the Egyptian pharaohs.
Vous voyez que des deux côtés, vous n'avez que la même réalité africaine, la même réalité anthropologique africaine.
And you see the same reality, anthropological reality, that is African, the similarities between the two.
Aussi, ça c'est Mentuhotep Ier. Aussi, vous voyez, il est noir.
You can see another pharaoh who is also black.
Typiquement.
Typical of that time.
Donc, c'est le fondateur de la 11e dynastie.
This is the founder of the 11th dynasty.
La ville de Thèbes lui a voué un culte pendant 1000 ans.
For some 1,000 years, the city of Thebes in Upper Egypt worshipped this pharaoh.
Ici aussi, vous voyez un peuple qui représente ses dieux en couleur noire. C'est Osiris qui est toujours représenté sous les traits d'un homme noir.
Here you see the representation of one people who always indicated their gods to be black, of skin color.
Ici, vous avez Akhenaton, le premier prophète qui a dit que Dieu est un, l'inventeur du monothéisme.
This is the inventor of monotheism.
Yes.
The first to say that there was one God.
Oui. C'est justement le pharaon qui a dit pour la première fois que Dieu est un et qu'on ne doit pas le représenter par une image.
This is the first Pharaoh to say that there is one God and that that God must not be represented by images.
Il était avant Moïse.
He was before Moses.
La Bible n'existait pas encore.
There was no Bible, not yet.
À cette époque-là, la pensée religieuse, encore, vous voyez, est partie de l'Afrique. C'est l'Afrique qui a initié la religion monothéiste.
And so it is even Africa that is the origin of monotheistic religion as well.
Vous voyez, ce pharaon avait 6 filles avec la reine Nefertari.
This pharaoh had 6 daughters with his queen Nefertari.
Alors, une des filles est sur les genoux de la reine.
One of the daughters is in the lap of the queen.
Je l'ai reproduit dans l'image suivante, vous allez la voir. Hein?
You'll see her again in
la
the...
voilà,
That's
vous voyez,
right.
sur les genoux de sa mère. Regardez comme elle est typiquement africaine.
See how she is typically African.
avec la coiffure totémique. En africain, c'est que cette coiffure est totémique.
And an African would know that this is a totemic hairdo.
Et je l'ai comparé avec un Mangbetu, qui est la femme d'une tribu africaine actuelle, pour la déformation du crâne.
I have compared her with one of the African tribes that is known for the forming of the skull.
Yeah. Ici, ça j'ai pris une publication de la revue de Ivan van Sertima,
This is
justement,
taken
et du
from
professeur Finch.
one of the reviews or journals of Dr. van Sertima and Dr. Finch.
J'avais ces reproductions, mais j'ai préféré les prendre dans les leurs parce que ces photos sont mieux rendues que certaines que j'ai.
I chose these because they are so much better done than others that I have.
Vous voyez bien, la femme qui est à droite est la mère du pharaon que vous avez vu là tout à l'heure. C'est le pharaon Akhenaton qui est à gauche et sa mère est à droite, la reine Taï.
This is the pharaoh on the left, and this is his mother on the right. Her name is Tai.
Cette reine a joué un rôle prééminent dans la diplomatie de l'Égypte à cette époque.
This woman had a preeminent role in diplomacy in Egypt at that time.
Tous les rois dont je vous ai parlé, tous les rois télé là dont je vous ai parlé tout à l'heure, que l'Égypte avait conquis sous la 18e dynastie,
All of the kings that I've spoken to you about, who made their conquests up to the
sous la dynastie précédente,
in the previous dynasty,
oui, donc écrivaient à cette femme
wrote to this woman
pour lui demander d'intervenir auprès de son fils
to intervene in these matters with her son,
pour que le pharaon les fasse entrer dans ses grâces.
so that they could be in the good graces of this king.
Donc le pharaon était encore jeune
This pharaoh was still very young.
et c'est lui, donc vous voyez bien que la mère, cette femme-là est la mère du premier prophète de la terre. Et vous voyez bien, voici la mère qui est très africaine et voici le premier prophète lui-même aussi, le voilà.
There you see this mother who is so typically African, and then you see next to her also typically African, the first prophet of the world.
Why is the history of Egypt so crucial to black people? What's at stake?
Mais parce que, comme je l'ai souvent dit, la civilisation égyptienne, d'après tout ce que je viens de vous montrer, a joué le même rôle que la civilisation vis-à-vis de l'Afrique, que la civilisation gréco-romaine vis-à-vis de l'Occident.
Because Egyptian civilization played the same role for Africa that the Greco-Roman civilizations played for the Western civilization.
Et donc, si nous voulons recréer un corps de sciences humaines en Afrique, il nous faut repartir de l'Égypte.
If we are to create a body of social sciences, then we must take as a point of departure Egypt.
Renouer avec les antiquités égyptiennes.
Tied to ancient Egypt.
C'est la seule façon, comme je le dis souvent, de réconcilier les civilisations africaines avec l'histoire.
It's the only way to reconcile African civilizations with history.
What would you say to the black parent who is satisfied with his or her child learning only European or white history?
Non, il faut apprendre l'histoire des autres, mais il faut se connaître d'abord.
It's fine to learn the history of others, but you must know your own self first.
Sinon, un peuple qui perd la mémoire historique est devenu un peuple fragile.
If a people forgets its historical memory or loses its historical memory, it becomes a very fragile people.
Il se désagrège. C'est la conscience historique qui nous permet de rester un peuple fort.
they regress, and it is that historical memory which permits them to be a strong people.
C'est pour ça que même dans la diaspora, cette conscience doit être vivifiée. Il faut que ce lien continue d'exister où que nous soyons.
Even in the diaspora, these ties must remain.
Ceci ne va pas à l'encontre des lois des différents États dans lesquels nous vivons aujourd'hui.
This can only help us make our lives better in the various countries in which we live.
La plénitude culturelle doit faciliter la fraternisation des races.
The fullness of our culture will help us in finding or seeking the fraternity among races that we must have in this world.
As we get into this is this family picture album. You see the two letters A and C circled red. Ivan van Sertima says, this by the way is a picture from Ramses III's tomb, right around 1200 BC. And what this is all about is that Ivan van Sertima states that the Egyptians always pictured themselves as A and C, not as B and D. We have the Semitic D and the Indo-Europeans and Asiatics B. And I just wanted to throw that in just to understand what's going on. 33 dynasties since the beginning of Egypt. And what happens here is that you have different events that happen during each dynasty, and you can take a look at those because we're going to be revisiting this a little bit each time as we go through this. This is Khafre. Thutmose III put a plaque between the paws of the Sphinx of Giza, stating that Khafre had something to do with the construction of the Sphinx. Now some folks believe that he was the one who designed it. It was designed after him. Count Constantine de Volney, during a trip to Egypt from 1783 to 1785, said this, and I quote, he says, "On seeing that head," what head? The Sphinx of Giza. "Typically Negro in all its features, I remembered the remarkable passage of Herodotus, the ancient Egyptians were true Negroes of the same type as all native-born Africans. Just to think that this race of black men today are slaves and the object of scorn, the very race to which we owe our arts, sciences, and even the use of speech." Now, I want to ask this question. What would motivate him to say this phrase, typically Negro in all its features? Could it be perhaps this? This was an artist's conception, Vivant Denon, who accompanied Napoleon's army, 1798. This is his artist's conception of the Sphinx of Giza. Before what happened? Before the lips and the nose were shot off by Napoleon's troops. That is verifiable because Denon was an eyewitness to those lips and the lips and nose being shot off by the soldiers. Why did they do it? We cannot climb into their hearts in the 21st century and figure this out, divine the entrails of frogs, and try to figure out why they did it. That's between them and God. But what happened, happened. And so when you look at this, you know that this definitely was patterned after an African man, regardless of who the identity of that man was. We now move to the first through the second dynasty. Narmer-Menes, he was the creator of the dynastic rule of Egypt. He ruled some 62 years in all. He unified the upper and lower Egypt. For the first time, this was all brought together. One of the things we know about him is that he initiated the Herculean task of diverting the course of the Nile that created the Delta region that allowed Memphis to be built. He died while traversing a river. They were going after a rogue Libyan band of troops, and a crocodile grabbed a hold of him as an older man, and that must have been some struggle, I'll tell you, but that's how he died, how he passed on. This is all we have of Narmer. Zoger. Zoser in the Third Dynasty, he was a gentleman that he began the extensive building with stone. In fact, he's the first one that put up a stone monolith in the Egyptian Empire. He exploited the copper mines in the Sinai Peninsula region. He extended his frontier to the first cataract of the Nile. Those who studied this know that there were 5 cataracts in all. These are rocky areas where you cannot traverse by a boat, and you have to actually go around it by land. And he extended the frontier about 500 miles south of Memphis. His chief advisor was a gentleman by the name of Imhotep. Imhotep, a remarkable individual. In fact, if you were to look at his resume, his obituary, I call this a resume obituary type stuff, is that he could easily say, I'm a sage, I'm a scribe, a priest, an astronomer, I'm a philosopher, I'm an advisor to Zoser, I'm his chief medical doctor, I'm the grand architect of the 204-foot stepped pyramid in Saqqara. He was worshipped, by the way, as a god for the next 3,000 years. And some early Christians, in fact, worshipped him as the Prince of Peace. This man made quite a mark in what he did. He was a man that was what we call the father of medicine. And by the way, his father was an architect. His name was Conifer. And this gentleman treated more than 200 diseases. He had 15 diseases of the abdomen that he was able to identify. 10 of the rectum, 11 of the bladder, 29 of the eye, 18 of the skin. He had this science of facial analysis where he could look into your face, your eyes, and determine what was going on. Now, some of the stuff we might laugh at now with our technology, but in medicine, he had a lot of information going on at this particular time. He knew of the circulation of the blood 4,000 years before the Europeans did. I like that upper right-hand corner picture. He's kind of peeking down at you. Don't you like that? Khufu, builder of the Great Pyramid. This man built the Great Pyramid, and the only thing we can find is a poor, poor little statue of him. This is the only likeness we have of Khufu. He built the 140-foot ship that we see there, and if those have been in the sands of Giza, you can see that ship. It's in its own house. It was a ship that when they had the pyramid set up, they built a kind of a cavern or a pit, and they put the ship down inside that pit. And they pulled it out, and they were able to... It was supposed to be a ship that was to take him into the afterlife. That was the religious ideology of the day. Menkaure, builder of the third Great Pyramid. By the time he came along, the national coffers were pretty much depleted. His pyramid is not nearly as incredible as the first two. I'll tell you, you take it on its own rights, and I'll tell you, it is an incredible work of art. He was known as a just man, as a man of meek spirit, a quiet man, mild temperament, forthright. He studied a lot of religions of his day, and just a very knowledgeable, well-read man. We now move to this particular part in the 11th dynasty, Mentuhotep. This particular gentleman was a man who was regarded as the greatest person of the 11th dynasty, the actual founder of it, the king of the upper and lower Egypt, and his wife, Kawit, in the lower right-hand part of your screen.
They have just told me that Shammai had Nubian features, which means that their ruling family was probably Nubian, and that was unexpected.
Examining Shammai's anatomy closely, the thickness of his bones and the shape of his nasal cavity, the anthropologists think he was a black African, likely from neighboring Nubia. A huge revelation that challenges the prevailing image of the Egyptian ruling class.
We always thought the ancient Egyptian elite were Mediterranean type, and in this sense, Shammai is representing the society of the frontier, in which different ethnic groups were mixed. At the end, it doesn't matter the color of your skin. Shemai was Egyptian.